All right, welcome to Wealth Cartel, where hindsight's a motherfucker.
Our mission is to stop people saying, I wish I had a listen, and to help people capitalize on everyone else's mistakes before making them themselves.
In summary, our tagline says it all: turn our hindsight into your foresight.
So we're just a couple of lads from the west and the central coast who grew up without really any wealth around us and used it to motivate us to make something of ourselves.
Along the way, mainly as we matured, we did a lot of things right, but more importantly, we made a lot of mistakes.
A lot of mistakes that could have been avoided by not being know-it-alls and actually listening to what others had told us instead of thinking, no, not me. So my name's Akko. I'm a small business owner with a bunch of franchises called Penn Picasso at the moment, with large plans of building a large business portfolio.
I'm Kingy. I'm a financial advisor looking to break the mold on what good advice should look like and start teaching people how to enjoy life to the fullest while also planning for tomorrow out of my business, 3 Kings Wealth Management.
Down here at Bella Vista Hotel, guys. Bella Vista Hotel has got a podcast room set up here for everyone to use. It's a great spot, good little setup for us. Nice little backdrop as well, if anyone's seen the backdrop. So, yeah, if it looks familiar to you guys, this is Bella Vista Hotel. Get down.
Get down here. It's got great food, great drinks, great cocktails, a good little atmosphere, not just for the podcast. They come down for the podcast or come down for a feed and check the guys out. Thanks for supporting us.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy the episode.
Hey guys, welcome to the 10th episode of Wealth Cartel, where we chop up our previous episodes, sort of have a look into what we've learned so far and what we believe we've taught so far, and yeah, go back over some of our guests' main points in their interview. All right, so pretty much we've just chatted about my sort of take on our first 10 weeks of the Wealth Cartel and what I took out of it, and you know, we've progressively sort of gone into the summaries and stuff like that, but now we're going to talk about yours and where you're at and, you know, exactly what you feel you've taken. And if I sort of think of anything as well, I'll touch base on that as well. So what do you feel like has potentially changed or have you stayed the same based off of your first interview?
No, I think a lot's changed. I've been through a lot in the last 10, 12 weeks. I've more to come out soon on that, but I've been through a lot, and I'm a pretty conscious person. Like, I think I came into, I'll start by summarizing. I think the whole biggest thing the biggest trait across all of them, and you might agree, is the consciousness of people. Yep. In some way, from everyone, all the people doing good, the day their life changed, the things they do best is all being conscious, you know. And I was always conscious, but there was a lot of things that, like, I came into being conscious. There's a lot of things that I was conscious I wasn't doing, or conscious that I wasn't good at. And one of my big things, like, I'm a very process-driven man, and I'm in and out of, you know, my early morning habits and stuff my whole life. You know, and I had this trait, and this week, it's actually funny. This week has been probably the hardest time in the last 3 years for me. I had a full-blown, almost a mental breakdown this week, right? I had a full-blown panic attack. I get to this point in my life where I'm pretty good generally, and I'll always do well at whatever I do. But whenever I get to a point where I'm about to take my life, my business, or whatever to this like next level, I self-destruct. Mm-hmm. I self-destruct, whether it's going on bender, whether it's going on a splurge, whether it's just being a fuckwit for a week, you know. Like,
yeah, I fully relate exactly to that.
Yeah, but over the last 10 weeks, I've always known that's me, but I've never done nothing about it, and I've really been consciously trying, because, you know, during the Wealth Cartel podcast, I've been sober the whole time, most of it, and then about 6 weeks in, I got to a good point again of my journey, and I ended up partying for 2 weeks. I went partying and fucked me up again, right? And I'm sort of coming back on the back of that. And this week was the point where my business, my relationship, my life, we're on the verge this week. When I went through my accounts and did my goal setting I do every week, I was like, fuck, we're next level. We're about to go next level. Mm-hmm. And I had a full-blown panic attack because it was the time I would usually go, Kingy, let's go party.
It makes you so anxious, hey?
So anxious, man.
Previous to it even happening.
Yeah. It's
like the anxiety of the thought of it is worse than actually doing it.
And I've never consciously been sober. Like I love a beer, I love going out, and it's always been a part of my life. But in the last this year, I've consciously been sober. And we talked about this last time. I think you talked with Mir or someone where you said, I'm one of the people, you know, that if I want to, I consciously party, I consciously drink, and I do. And those 2 weeks I did, but the risk for the trade-off for doing it wasn't there. And I went, shit, You know, that sort of, I planned them, but after them, I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. And
you know what you're doing 99% of your life, right? I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I didn't. And to be able to watch someone so similar to you, you know, we essentially in different lives, we could have been brothers. Like, we're very similar, right? To watch someone have that grasp, it's like, I just don't think, fuck, how do you do that? Now, I've taken that on, right? And now I'm conscious of what I'm doing because I can instantly reflect back to you on what you do. That when that happened, I was like, "You fucked up, cunt." Not not because you've done anything wrong, but because what you did through your sobriety, and the fuck up was a 1 minute instant action. Now the Ryan that I know is not a 1 minute impulsive dude. That's me.
Yeah.
Now, why I can see that's a fuck up is because I'm the cunt doing that normally.
Yeah, and I think, but the thing that gets me, the thing that got me is, you're right, I'm a 99%, right? I'm not perfect, and I'm far from it, but planning-wise, my life is 99% planned out, and we're well and truly on track to that. But the problem I've had, and you've nailed it there, is that, so that the first weekend that I partied, I went to the snow, I went down and got blind, fully planned.
Fully planned.
The weekend after, I planned to go out and have a drink with my stepdad for his birthday, and that just got a bit out of hand. But the problem with me is that 1% that you just mentioned happens at the point where I am about to take something to the next level.
Yeah.
So the 1% slip up, and I've come to the realization that it's because I want an excuse on why something didn't get to where it was. And the reason the panic attack happened this week, everything sort of bottled up. And fuck, I don't give a fuck about sharing. I share this shit with everyone. I don't give a fuck. We're transparent here. People know. And the reason it happened is I had a full-blown almost a meltdown. Like I was about to explode inside is I had nothing. There was not a chance in the world I was having a beer. There's not a chance in the world I was partying. There's not a chance in the world there was anything in my aura. For me to fuck up, I would have had to jump off a roof or something. Like, there was nothing there. And I had a full-blown panic attack because I was like, you've got no excuses right now and you're not going to make any.
That's scary.
Taking that next level, and I won't get into the details of what that next level is, but it's pretty much taken my business from a small business to a fucking something that's going to look after us for the rest of our life. And I went through that, and what I got through this. Yesterday was the day that I had the transformation. I got through it, and I'll give a big shout out to my staff, Izzy. He's a big help in that. He's helped me out heaps, and that worth his weight in gold. But
I love that, bro.
Yeah, but one of the big things I put it down to is this fucking podcast. Like, I don't care how many people watch it. The lessons I get from that, and it comes from Arlene, right? Like, sponsoring Arlene, being a part of that journey. Charles, all these lessons that we're learning from all these people. It really allowed me, like Loz, for people who don't know, Loz is, I think she's, I'm going to get trouble, 27, 28, and she is my second biggest client. As a financial advisor, I work with big fucking clients. She's 28, and she's my second biggest, most classic customer, and she gets me through, like, we talk about shit. I help her heaps on her money side, but she helps me heaps on my mindset side and stuff as well, and thinking about all that shit really, really helped me, because I sat there during the week and went, what is the usual trait, being conscious, what are the usual traits that I would do here that would fuck me up? And then the way I got over that panic attack and anxiety was going, well, if I don't do those and I don't keep doing the right things, I'll get through it. And we got through it this week, and we're now at that next level to take things amazing.
What's the direct link? What do you reckon your direct link is to being able to break that mindset? Like, so one thing you did, you felt like you were going to fuck up. You didn't fuck up. Your fuck up now was the anxiety attack, right? Or the panic attack. Generally, you don't have the panic attack until after the fuck up.
Yeah. I think, like, and the other thing so without all that stuff there, the only thing left, so this last few months I've been through in my friend circle kind of thing, I've been fucking fucked over pretty hard.
Through the ringer, right?
Through the ringer. And I work with a psych. I've been working with a psych for years, just as a, we talk about mental health just as a preventative thing. And I spoke to her, and she pretty much just said, because, we've got our two sides to it. We talk about this all the time. You've got your fucking Harvey Specter and your Tommy Egan side. Anyone that, if you know, you know, right? Like, how you deal with things. And I'm at that point in my life now where dealing with things the way we like to deal with things doesn't work. It's not worth it or anything. And
well, it's not only that it doesn't work, bro. It's fucking illegal.
It is, and it doesn't help. And And I said to her, I said, look, I need help, because doing what I want to do in a scenario will not bring It won't do anything. There's nothing
no
good comes of it.
There's no closure.
But if you know, like, you can't subside that feeling. Like, it feels like you're not doing the right thing. And she said, look, Ryan, I need you to do this for me. I need you to remove yourself. So I had to change gyms. I had to remove myself out of messaging chats. I had to just move on. And we're talking, it was like, all right, I got to walk away from this. And what the fuck up came from was, with nothing else there, that was the thing chewing inside me saying, go kick some doors down. Go do this, like, and I'm sitting at home with absolutely no reason on earth to have to do that. And that's what I'm battling with. Do I take my business to the next level, or do I go and do this? And it sounds silly when you talk about it.
Well, when it's said out loud, it sounds ridiculous.
But you just can't change.
But inside your.
That's where the panic attack come from. The panic attack was me. It felt like we're not quitters, right? You don't quit shit. We attack things out, and it felt like instead of thinking
the gym.
Instead of thinking in my head, I'm attacking this business and going forward, I was thinking I'm quitting that. I'm being a bitch because I'm quitting that side of things. So the mindset I took from everything, the thing, talking to my psych, she helped me, but the thing that got me was Charles and Arlene's thing about doing what makes you feel good and being conscious of, is what you're doing relying to your purpose? That is literally the only thing that put me over that panic attack, was doing that has nothing to that. Well, that amount of money that I get, right? If I got that money back, that doesn't change my life in any way. Mate, I really just wanted to share that conscious stuff. Like, I've been very conscious, but I was conscious in money and planning and lifestyle. But that other stuff, the actions, my activities, between Charles and Arlene alone, like everyone else we've learned heaps from. That chat really, that's a practical example where it's changed my life.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get at with who we used to be. So being able to sit at a table with Arlene, being able to sit at a table with Charles from where we come from and the beginnings we come from and the shit we've done, being able to speak about legitimate things that have happened in our lives and being able to resonate with those types of people to not be the thug we used to be. Oh. We are essentially students of our own brand.
Yeah.
And you are probably one of the greatest ones. Like, I know for a fact, man, and I say this with no doubt in my mind whatsoever, that 2 years ago, had that have happened to you, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It would have been done. And now we don't talk. I'm not going to talk about like that, like we're thugs. But if someone takes something from anyone, let alone people that grew up the way we grew up, you're going to get it back, right? Being able to grow and learn and have these conversations, that conversation directively. I remember you and Arlene were sort of going back and forth about certain things. You talked to me about the day that I said something on my own, when we interviewed me about, my daughter, where that changed and something sparkled. I remember the conversation with you and Arlene where she was saying something to you about there was no way I wasn't going to succeed. I remember you just looking at her just like, fucking, this bitch is a bad bitch. Not because she's a fighter, but because mentally that is who you want to be. And I don't mean that as in you're aspiring, but your mindset is fully about that.
Yeah.
Your mindset is fully about you're a gangster in your own right. You want to do what the fuck you want to do, and you have the capacity and the consciousness to make decisions that affect not only you but everyone around you. And that conversation with you and her, she was like saying, like, it just needs to be done. There's just nothing else about it.
Oh, goosebumps from that, bro. I think I didn't even realize that you said it, but you're absolutely right, because I went from I'll say it right now. I went from, we'll get to the point. Well, the point I said last time, I can't remember exactly what I said when my summary was, but it was something about, you are who you are when no one's watching, and I still stand by that. But I've changed. One of the things I learned, I've taken away, and I put a post up about this the other day, is I now changed to, suit doesn't make the man, the man makes the suit. Because Arlene, you just nailed that. I didn't even thought. I've literally got goosebumps thinking about it, because I was looking at Arlene going, one of my big things is I grew up, I think I hate being a bitch. I hate being seen as a bitch or feel, not seen. I don't care what any can't give a fuck what they think about me, right? I know I'm not a bitch, and I just don't want to feel like a bitch. Yeah. But I've changed my attitude in this period from a bitch to me was, you're not a tough cunt. So now I looked at Arlene and I went, you are the baddest, like she's bad. And it had nothing to do with who she stood over or whatever.
Nothing to do with the fighting.
Nothing. It had everything to do with that. She went, I want what I want, I'm going to get it. And you're probably right. That 100% changed, and that's what changed me with that thought process. Instead of being, I've got to go get what's mine because that's tough, I went, no, what's tough is
the sacrifice you made. So Arlene's sacrifice, this is where you and her align. She sacrificed, all the things she's done with her kids, taking them to training and all this type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Your sacrifice to you, it meant the same amount as it meant to her. Like what you've done and the what you've taken away from not being able to go and do that and get your stuff back, that's Arlene sacrificing her shit, because to you that was your manhood, right?
Yeah.
That's everything you've ever lived for, was your manhood, your balls, your fucking backbone. But the sacrifice you made makes you the bad cunt.
Yeah.
It makes you like you going, you know what, like, and I can resonate with this. Fuck the money. Like, I'll get it again. That to me is a bad motherfucker.
But how hard is it to sit there and actually, and the hardest part is going, because then you think, because then what gives me anxiety as well is thinking, fuck, but that person's not going to see it that way. This other person's going to think, no, you are a bitch because you get money. And people are going to listen to this and go, no, you are a bitch. But for the biggest part for me is to go, I don't give a fuck. What I think is not being a bitch is what I've done.
Nah, and the situation is irrelevant, because it's not. It's about making decisions that benefit your growth. It's about making decisions that benefit your
purpose.
And
Charles said, man.
And if your purpose is to be Australia's #1 fucking financial advisor, you might have to sacrifice your fucking backbone for a second. Yeah. And you know what? If you want it, they're going to get it. But you going out of your way, you cannot achieve what you want to achieve.
No.
You can't do it, bro. You know what I mean? You can't.
But how tough is it to be able to go? It's a lot of thousands of dollars to go keep it. I'll make it again. So
and
I love that. I've come to love that.
Yeah, it's that's very fresh to you.
Yeah.
And it will be there. Mark my words, for a lot longer than you want it to be there. It's very hard to cop it on the chin and not think about it ever again. You'll bring that up a couple of times.
Especially when you're in a bad mood or something, like you're fucking, that's the...
Yeah, but the thing is too, is you learn to live with the fact that it motivates you, bro.
Yeah.
Like I would not for the fucking life, for anything, change being ripped off.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you right fucking now, without being a thug, no one will ever do that to me again, because I'm too smart.
Yeah, 100%.
You couldn't do it to me.
And I said to Gemma the other week, I said, you know what's funny is I don't know if the business would be where it is if it wasn't for being ripped off. Because I had to go, boom, get down, get dirty, and I had to make shit happen. There's no way I would have done 56 clients in 3 months.
I walked away from my company and it grew a hate for the building industry because of that. I wouldn't be sitting here with you talking shit, being an entrepreneur, if that cunt didn't rob me. Yeah. It's fucking plain and simple. There's no way in the world. There's no way. You know what? To be fair, we probably don't become this close of mates if you're not getting played by them cunts. That's your like. To the truth of the matter is, that was your circle. They fucked you around. I become your mate. So.
Crazy.
Keep the cash.
Keep it kind of. No, I won't say that. You're gonna be your compensation when I jump on your head. All right, so that's what I've taken from the I fucking love it, bro. Like we've booked in another 10, 15 episodes because
I think we're booked out till the end of
November. We just booked one for the start of December, and I'll tell you what, guys. I don't care if we get 10, 20, 30 views. This is. Everyone who watches this has come to me and gone, bro, how do you not have more followers? This is cracker. Like, there's nothing like this. And
and like
it's just for us, I don't give a fuck.
We could boost ads and we could get followers and man, I'm not going to sacrifice the rawness and who I am.
The bigger we boost, the more trouble we get in.
Yeah, but see the thing, like we could have more followers, bro. We could talk about shit people want to talk about. We could do certain things that. Hashtag dumb. Like at the end of the day, we're going to say things people don't want to hear. We're going to, I don't know. Yeah, I honestly don't believe I would sacrifice. I don't give a fuck about the monetization or any of that. Like I want to be me, and I want you to be you, and I want people who come in here to like what we do and not talk, anything but the truth.
100%. All right. Do you want to open that up and we'll go through summaries of the episodes? Oh, here we go. Speak of Alexandra McNally. Your passcode. No.
Fucking love,
I deleted them off my phone. I've only got Instagram and Facebook Messenger on my phone. No other notifications.
I can't do that.
I couldn't either, but now I can. I didn't think I could, but I can.
No, I can't do that.
You need a PA.
Yeah, no, I just hired one, but at the moment I can't do that. All right, so we're just going to summarize now. So we're going to do a similar thing to what I did. We're going to go through each each guest, and sort of summarize one or two things that you thought you took away from that. We'll start with my one.
Next. No.
This is a funny one.
Your one, mate. I saw things in you that I saw things in you that reflected me, like that you talked about. That you said it before that we are very similar, and sometimes it takes that mirror image to kind of help out. And when you said, I keep going back to it, but when you said about be the man you want your daughter to marry, it really reflected on me because I don't have any kids. And you always said, yeah, sure. But it actually makes you reflect back and go, look, and that's what sort of triggered my one to say, you are who you are when no one's looking. Because we all do shit that you're not proud of, and we do mistakes, whatever, but doing it over and over again is the problem. And seeing you reflect and sort of identify things that, more so cutting those excuses, being conscious to go, fuck these excuses. I've been in my life because I'm so planned out, if something doesn't go wrong, I don't blame myself. I never used to, because I was like, no, I planned it.
It couldn't have been me.
And I say to you all the time, I'm massive on control. My life changed when I was control what you can control. So if it happens, it can't be my fault because I'm controlling everything I can control. And I validate and create excuses. And in your one, I saw you address that with you, and it made me go, fuck, where am I not addressing that with me? And I think that was a big one.
Yeah, well, I like that. I like it's very humbling to be able to have someone who's so on top of their game look at anything you said and go, fuck, I could implement that. So, your one, let's just have a little chat about your one. Like, what was one of the things or a few of the things you said then that you still so strongly by, or is there anything you'd change about what you said? Like, we didn't exactly go over all of these, but something you can remember you said.
Yeah, I'll go to the triangle for my one because I didn't tell anyone this until I put a post up the other week, but we very, me with my cash flow, we're very, very on point, and we're on track for our life tenfold above. But in the last 12 months, so since January this year, we increased our spending by, I think it was about 30%, because more like our lifestyle spending, we increased it because I was concerned that being so tight on our budget, and I'll make it very clear, I don't recommend anything to my clients that I haven't done myself or I haven't tested, or, like I tried. And I love spending. I love my clients spending, but we were so tight and on point that I was worried it was affecting my revenue, in that I was only earning what I was earning because I didn't have to earn anymore.
Yeah.
So we increased our spending, and we increased our lifestyle and went from there. And from mine, I wouldn't change anything. What I said is fine. Like, I'm progressing from that, but it is cool that in the last 3 months, my triangle of money, health, and lifestyle,
implemented that.
No, yeah. So what I said on my podcast was that I was back because I'd partied for 12 months up to this year. We had our party year last year. This is our start of family year, and we went. I knew where my triangle needed to be for health, but I was lacking on the gym, and I like training. I was lacking on the gym. I was good with our money, but our lifestyle was probably a bit up. But now, in the last 12 weeks, I've implemented it to the T essentially, and everything's looking up.
So in regards to that, elaborate so some people aren't going to understand what you just said. I got it straight away, and I feel like it's a fucking great idea. Mainly, I resonate with it because I'm an earner though. Mm. So what Ryan's pretty much just said is that he didn't cut back on lifestyle to save more. He lifted his spend by 30% because he knew it would force him to make more.
He did, and then what I've got to do...
Fucking digest that.
Yeah, what I've got to do now, though, like, it's just a study, is we've got to run whether the amount we earn, right? Now, keep in mind, I did this well within our affordability. So we were overs on our wealth plan. So I took from the wealth plan to make sure we're still on track, but increase our lifestyle. And my revenue has 100% gone up by...
the capacity to think like that is next level.
Yeah, my brain's analytical as fuck.
The capacity to think like that, to me, It's genius because I can do that. I'm like, this motherfucker just told me I'm allowed to spend more money if I make it. That's what he just said, right? So
I told you that today already.
It's very, very, very simple. It's a very simple analogy, but lots of people are like, they're so fucking caught up and backwards in digestive money.
It's called, and Lauren helped me with this, it's called an abundance mindset. Is having an abundance.
That's what it's called, an abundance mindset.
So you think about having everything in abundance, but I need to put a caveat is you need, and this is a caveat for you, is you've got to make sure that the rest, you're not just spending more to earn more. You've got to make sure it's still in line with
it's still aligned,
purposeful,
still
you know. And what we've got to manage now is at the end of the year, I'll run analysis to see whether what we earn was like our profit margin as a household was more than what we spent, to see what the relation was. Because if you spend more but you earn less than what you spend,
you might end up turning around and saying, well,
find the balance.
It would have worked at 25, but it hasn't worked essentially at 30. Let's find that. Yeah, that's genius, bro. That's fuck. See, but people can't implement that themselves. They can't do it.
No, that's what
It's got to be taught, bro. That has to be taught.
So I learned, from my one is reflecting is I'd implemented that. I'd talked about that, but the last 12 weeks I've implemented it, and I'll tell you, bang on. Like my life is bang on right now. It's doing really well. Making sure that I balance that triangle out. We went out to sushi last night. Like we went to the an escape room with you guys the other week. I played golf. We still do things. We're having a real good time, but everything else is looked after. Also our money, our lifestyle, and now my health. Like I've been PT, my nutrition. It's cracker. So implementing what we talked about there, it works, bro. Like we were onto something.
That's fucking groundbreaking discoveries. I'm telling you, find yourself a financial advisor that tells you to spend more. Buy a horse.
I don't even talk about
I can't believe it.
How about I stay sober at the
put that into the budget?
How about I stay sober at the horses?
Yeah, that's why the cunt lost. All right, we're going to move on. That was a good one, bro. Like, you have never said that to me in those words before. We've talked about that, but to see you, bro, that's fucking cracker. That's a good one, man.
You got to assess it, though. It can't just...
Yeah, no, don't get me. I get it. I'm not about to run out and spend 30% more to just assume I can make more. I get it. You've spent the 30% extra, which you could afford in the capacity to then push yourself to earn more and save essentially more, but live a better lifestyle. Save the same or balance out it, but live the 30% better lifestyle.
Some people survive to thrive, or thrive to survive, and that's who I am. Like I thrive I'm a clutch goer.
I used to get told this thing. My mum used to say to me, "You work to live, you don't live to work." Now, it's such a simple analogy, but I disagree. Like if you can find, I get what that analogy means, but if you can find something that you're happy to live your life working for, that analogy is irrelevant.
Yeah, that's true. But I think like the thrive mindset, like I said, I thrive to survive. I'm a clutch. You're the same, mate. Like you're the same. I'm clutch. In a footy game, chuck me the ball, I'll make something happen. Like I'm not even a good footy player, but I'm a clutch. I want to be the person who makes shit happen when it needs to be happen. And I noticed that being comfortable on what we were earning, I just wasn't pushing. And to make it to the next level, I had to. There's so many levers in your life, and for me, money's my thing. So there's so many levers in money that you can push and pull. And I was comfortable with where I was, and I wanted to see what I could push and pull to change that. And it's the same in life, It's the same in life. I don't know the other analogies, but across the health set and across your lifestyle, you push and pull shit to see what. And it's all.
Yeah, but you're doing it calculated too. A lot of people those you go to the fair and there's like that toys. There's like all these toys in one bundle, and there's all these strings that go up and go, and you pull the string, whatever toy you pull. These cunts are just going, I'll grab whatever string I'll pull. You're doing it. You're like, right, the longer ones, they're the small toys. I'm going for the short cunt. It's broken down.
Yeah.
It's calculated.
There's an analytical sense to it.
Yeah. Percentage-wise, it's very calculated, bro. Yeah. And, don't do it yourself. Don't try this at home.
Come see me.
All right, Arlene.
Oh, mate, that was cracker. I've known Arlene for a long time. She hasn't known me, though. I trained with Arlene for years back at Lions. And
But isn't that just a reflection of what she was then?
Yeah.
Like I've heard you say that on numerous occasions. Like I knew who Arlene was so long ago, and I've thought about it, and I'm like, she was to the general population, she was not anybody then.
Even my mates in the fight scene had no idea who she was. Anyone outside of Lions didn't know who Arlene Blanco was, and I was like, mate, have you heard? Like, she's a gun. Like, I watch her train, I see the dedication. I'm like, how is she not? How is she not this? Like, people talk about Ronda Rousey, and I was like, you heard Arlene? Like, I used to watch Arlene at the gym and go, she'd towel Ronda.
Well, especially in Australia.
Yeah.
How, like, Ronda, I get it. Like, they push Ronda's brand really well. She do. How is someone here not going push her?
Yeah.
Miranda. She's a mum. She's fucking the epitome of a hardworking Aussie.
Yeah.
You know, she's sacrificed.
People, like, we do it too, but people always say, you know, I always put her in the female category, but just as a fucking person.
Just a category.
Just as a person, mate.
The category it's a fucking job. Like, it kills me to not understand how someone of that caliber as a person is not spoken about.
Yeah, and so from her one, I really like just to, you nailed it. I actually never thought of what you just said before, but just sitting there and that bad bitch mentality to win, and it had nothing to do with being a hard cunt. It was just, I will do what I need to do to win. That did twinkle my eye. That lit something up inside me that went, yes. And
yeah, and it wasn't, and when she said that, it wasn't, I'll do what I've got to do to win in the ring. It was, I will do what I have to do to win at life.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's the analogy.
Before fighting, after fighting, during, like, yeah, I went, yeah. And to be honest, that chat is that, and Charles's chat, which we'll get to next, was huge on my list of how I overcome this week. You know, it's played a match. The last 3 months has been phenomenal for me for that chat.
I think people like Arlene and people like Charles, there's other people in their capacity, on their level of athletes, and they don't really, and I don't mean it, it's not that I know people like this, but Arlene would be humbled to hear that. And that to me speaks volumes about her.
Yeah.
To be able to influence people like us, like Arlene has told me previously, she's put me in touch with another person, a friend of hers, because she was like, you need to meet Dan. He's going to he's going to do this with you. Like, you need to speak to him. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're pointing people in my direction, because I'm resonating with her. And I'm sure she's the same. Like, she hears this from out of people like us. And she said personally to us before, like, you know, I can't believe what he's doing. It's crazy what he's doing in the field. And we feel the same way about her. Yeah. So that's that being surrounded by positive, you know, shit.
100%.
All right, we'll move on to Charles. I'm gonna let you go because I don't even know what else to say about this guy.
Charles was an interesting one for me because I've met a few people like Charles in the way of their mindset, but I've never met someone like Charles where it works out. And he's the first person in my life that is the way he is, and I truly believe it'll work out. So
Can I ask you though?
Yeah.
I've met other people that say they're like Charles, right? And that's no disrespect to them. I just don't know anyone that's ever sacrificed what he has.
No, I do. I've never met someone who hadn't as much a sacrifice as him, but I've met a lot of people with that same mentality. You know, I'll do what needs to be done. Fight, especially after the Conor era. After the Conor era, a lot of people wanted to come out and get on Centrelink and do what they did. And for every single one of those people I've ever met, I've gone, okay, bro, so you need to get a job. Like, Charles is the first person I've seen looked at deep inside his soul and gone, no, you're on it. You are that person.
You're going to win.
And I think that the one that got me was definitely that everything he does is in line with his purpose. But the caveat, because I say that, people say that, you know, and we have flexibility. The caveat was that looking at him while he said that, he was completely content within himself to live that life. So many people will say that, but you can know they're like, but if you go, I want to jump on the piss, they go, oh, I'd love to, you know. What he's doing is completely content, but from his heart to his head, of this is what I want to do and I'm happy within myself to do it. And that's why I believe he'll succeed.
Yeah, and I think it's more than content. It's a belief.
It comes from his soul, bro.
It is a strong belief within himself that he is put on this earth to do that.
I don't believe he feels he's sacrificing anything. I believe he feels he's living the life he is destined to live. And that to me was like, holy fuck.
He never said once in that whole interview that it was hard to give up what he gave up.
No.
He never once said, and like we were
enjoyed
like,
it.
we were looking at each other like, what the fuck did you, like, what do you mean you done that? And he was saying like, well, you know, when I was a bit younger, I fucked up. I go, how young? He goes, 20. I was thinking, fucking 20. I reckon you're spot on. That to me, 100%.
It's not what he said. It's how he said it and the body language he threw up while saying it was what changed me. I just went, holy.
We asked him. What did we say to him? Where can you see yourself? What's your super fight? And he was like, Adesanya at Madison Square Garden. Was it Madison Square? No. Vegas. Adesanya in Vegas.
Was it Vegas?
Yeah, it was somewhere in Vegas. It was
He said a big one.
Fuck.
No, I thought it was it here?
It was fucking. It was somewhere there. It was like, we were like, what can you? What was it? What is your super fight? What is your?
What do you think? He said I envisioned it, and he knew the.
He was like, he knew like walking out to a song. Like he was like, he had envisioned kicking the fuck out of us. Now, there's a lot of people going to go, yeah, right, I understand he's a champ. Bro, you got to make, if this guy, I'm telling you right now, I'll put my money, Adesanya's a freak, right? I will put my money on Charles Jourdain because I know him and he's not going to lose.
Yeah. At anything in life.
At nothing at all. All right, cool. We're going to move on to Beaver, who you brought in, who's a mate of yours. Give us a rundown on Beaver.
Mate, I didn't really get too much from the thing because I've known Beaver a while now, and we've become. He came on to become a client first, and then become my client's mortgage broker, and then we become mates. And I just get a lot from him as a person. Having someone that I grew up, and even to this day, he's the first person I'd pick in any footy team. And I'm a Parramatta fan, so I should hate Manly, but he's next to Nathan Highmarsh or Nathan Kalis. He's probably my favourite player of all time. And when I met him, you know, they say you should never meet your heroes.
Don't you ever say Steve Matthews and Jason Kalis in the same?
I meant Nathan.
No.
As a Parramatta sport, Nathan Kalis, I love Nathan.
Don't ever say Steve Matthews and those cunts in the same sentence again.
But you know,
sorry, Kalis. You can come on if you want.
You know how they said don't ever meet your heroes. You know how they say that.
Yeah.
I met him, and mate, if Steve Matthews is a hero, you always go meet him. He's one of the greatest blokes I've met in my life. Humble, and mate, the first time I met him, he goes, oh, I used to play footy. Fucking shit, mate. Like he tried to introduce himself.
Pretending he didn't know.
But he's genuinely like that. And what I did get something from his podcast. I got the circle thing, the bubble. The bubble is why I started what I'm doing around the military. Because the military has, I won't go into too deep, but that's why I started. And to hear him talk about that and actually think, and like I said, you just said it, there's the bubble. Everyone experiences a bubble. In some, you know, that your comfort zone, it's pretty much getting out of what you're comfortable from into being uncomfortable. And
I feel like you knew what the consumer would get out of Steve Menzies before he come on. I was very interested to see. I'd heard about Steve a lot. I'd never heard anyone say a bad word about him. Like I've been around footy players and that, and never heard a bad word said about the dude.
Yeah. And
I think you knew what you were going to get from him, which is why there's no sparking moment from the time he come on.
Yeah, that's right. And the thing with Steve was that Steve, we wanted to get a large walk of life on here, and Steve, he didn't grow up hard, didn't grow up struggled. He's another person that had that journey from the start, but that's almost more of a challenge in itself. Is being on the journey from the start and staying the course. And I wanted to, because longevity is one. Even if you getting on track is one thing, staying on track is a whole other kettle of fish. And I wanted people to get out of, and I wanted to get out of too, because I didn't know that part of it. Is how did you stay on track for that long?
Well, one thing I mentioned to you before was Steve Menzies played rugby league for 17 years in the top grade. So that was like 14 playing NRL and 3 over 4 overseas. That man never. Not one time in his career was in the news for a bad thing. He never got caught drink driving. He never got caught fucking up. There was never nothing in there about he didn't show up to train and his contract's on the line. He did everything in his power, similar to Charles Joyner, to ensure that what he wanted to do.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I will say I got from it that I thought about before, but from that is, his thing was he was like always grateful. Like he never felt privileged. I said to him, how from a young age, he said, I was just always happy to be there. Like I always knew that this was an opportunity. My life is an opportunity. Everything I did was an opportunity. I treated it as such. I didn't feel like he was the best forward, arguably the best forward of our time, right? And
He's the best try scoring back rower ever.
Ever. He's the third highest try scorer of all time in general.
Yeah, but like when he kept going back to the love he had of rugby league, he said, "I just love playing rugby league."
But that's what he said. It was just an opportunity.
He answered probably 5 or 6 different questions with the same answer. That all could have been spun off into a different thing, but he was adamant. He was adamant. I mean, he's probably been asked those questions a million times and answered the same things, but he was adamant that through the love of the game and through the love of what he did, that's where he became who he was.
100%.
And I dare say, if you look at a lot of successful people, I
heard Mike Tyson on Joe Rogan's podcast say something that really sparked me the other day around that as well. Was you can't always, not everyone can find something they love doing, right? And Mike Tyson said, find something you're good at, and even if you hate it, do it like you love it, and you'll be successful.
Yeah, fuck yeah. See, that's mad. That's fucking mad. If you treat it like you love the cunt, it's gonna fucking prosper, isn't it? Let me stop saying cunt. Alrighty. So we're going to go from Steve. Steve, yeah, he's one of my favourite people I've ever met in my life. I've met a few famous people, and I'm not actually, you know what, I'm not going to say one of. I think he's my favourite famous person I ever met. He wouldn't call himself famous, but, you know, he's a legend amongst rugby league community.
Amongst men.
Yeah, amongst people. All right, we're going to move over to Loz now. You brought Loz on, and yeah, like, you know her on a personal level, and you probably know her a little bit better than most people do, because you look after her, finances. And so give us a bit of a rundown on what you learned from Loz.
Yeah, so in that one, I was actually nervous about getting Loz on because she was so different to the brand we were trying to push. But the thing I didn't know about Loz was how she grew up and stuff, like in the country, small town and stuff. And her family, I know her. I look after her mum as well, and I didn't know this then, but I didn't know this about their childhood. But her growing up in such a small town to where she is, like, and so when we talk about that abundance mindset, which I get from Loz often, that takes it to a next level to think she come from a scarcity town. Like, she grew up in a town that was so small that her life was scarcity. You live on next to nothing because you don't have to do a lot. It's a small town. And she took that to the top level of an abundance mindset in an industry that's worldwide and is at the top of the game.
And saturated, by the way, like fully saturated market.
Yeah. Like you'd be doing well to go from where she went from to doing okay, to go from where she went from to then, she's got 3 children on her own, well, with a partner now, to top of her game. Like, and it came down to that abundance mindset. She practices what she preaches around abundance, and she truly lives that. And that's what I got from Loz.
Cool, man. I agreed. She's fucking very inspiring. Alrighty, the Cartel boys.
Cartel boys. Yeah,
we keep laughing every time we say their names.
Because they're fucking legends.
This cunt fucking knows something. He's not telling me. I had a big bender with him or something.
I met Rochi in a funny way, and we went on the podcast. I won't go into it, but Rochi is just the bloke you want on every bender, right? Like, that's who he is. You want Rochi on every bender, and he's just the funniest, laid back, and
fucking giant human.
Giant and
fucking big boy.
Absolutely no disrespect to Rochi. I love the bloke, but I've got a few mates like him in the way that at school he's the one you never think's going to succeed. You look at him and above everything else, he did, like, he's done so well. He's just taken what he did, like, and that's no disrespect to Rochi. I mean,
Rochi, that didn't come from me. And if you've got a problem with anyone, it's him. Discount over there.
It's not, and Rochi, like, he's the larrikin of school, I mean, he played it, and you think this guy's going to be funny his whole life, but he took that, and I only met Zach for the first time then, and the thing with Zach and the two boys together, they're completely different, but in the way that they have done so, and they're to preface, they are both coming in to talk about becoming clients, because they obviously need some help on making things go bigger, but they've done so well for themselves where they are in the way of balancing getting up successful businesses and living a life along the way, like, and not regretting a thing. They have enjoyed every moment of it, and they're doing well from it. Yeah,
and I loved. There's certain people on our podcast that turned around and said they wouldn't change anything. There's quite a few, actually. said they wouldn't change anything. I'm not one of those people. Don't get me wrong. I think you and I have spoke about this where we were like, I wouldn't like. I learned from my lessons. I don't know if I would change them right now, but if I had the chance again, I would like fucking fast track that shit 5 years. Can't. Zach was adamant he wouldn't change a thing, and I respected that so much because in a sense where we were like, "What do you want to change?" He was just like, "Nah, bro, I'm good." Like I actually forgot about that, but that was fucking cool. I reckon to be able to sit in a room with 4 people, pressing you to change one thing, and he was like, "Nah."
Yeah, and he can show that because they've lived a good lifestyle and balance. They've the perfect balance of lifestyle and progression.
Alrighty, Alex McNally.
Yeah, Alex, I just love her. I got out of her just that back yourself. Like everyone talks about back yourself, but mate, this chick has a job, right? No one would know. She has an actual job that she works for, and then she's building an empire off the side of it, and she just backs herself with it. Like, yeah, backing yourself from Alex was easily the biggest thing I got there, and yeah, she's a gun.
Alex had that, like, you know, a lot of people write hashtag back yourself. Alex was like, nah, fuck hashtag, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, just get it done.
Fucking us. I fully agree with that. Other than that full back yourself mindset, like, she literally showed us through the commitment to come on. Like, we've had a few people cancel it, you know, shit goes on, and we've had people not call us and be fucked around. And Alex was like, we called her the night before, like, do you want to come on? She's like, yep. I was on holidays, Ryan was here. We called her. She was driving. She was like, yeah, sweet, I'm just going to do it. I'm driving. And we're like, fuck, that's illegal. And she was like, no, I won't look at the camera. Fucking, we're laughing. Anyway, she's driving from Port Macquarie.
Yeah.
Byron. She's driving from Byron. She drives into a bad zone. She keeps cutting in and out. She's like, boys, listen, I can pull over the side of the road. It's going to be bad. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do it at midday. And I'll be completely honest. I was thinking, she's not coming out at midday. I had a wetsuit on. I had a fucking wetsuit on because I thought Alex wasn't coming on. I was dead. And then I was like, shut up. And then like Alex was there and I was like, fuck. I didn't think she was coming. That to me alone suited her personality to a T. Because she was just like,
do what you say you can do. She that's her.
And get it done.
Yeah.
Fucking get it done. And that, like, she wasn't just saying get it done. She come on, she was like, fuck this, fuck that, get it done. And she had literally jumped through hoops to ensure that we got our podcast done. So I respect that. Alrighty. Me.
Mate, I had a cracker chat with Mir. There's easily the one thing I got from Mir is the reflection. Me and him had a really good chat. If you go and watch it, we sort of locked eyes for a bit. I think we were in love for a second. But we had a really.
I'd love you more if you go to the gym, bro.
I'll go to my own gym. I'll go there. I'll suss it out. I just that reflection. I told you that story about me sitting in the car doing my reflection stuff, but hearing the level of reflection, and do you remember him talking about the traveling stuff?
Yeah, I was really impressed, actually.
He talked about traveling in the way that reflecting on your travel and thinking about what did you get out of that travel or what do you want to get out of that holiday, and it takes it to a whole new level. Go and watch the thing. I can't do it justice. Go and watch the thing around the traveling stuff, but it was that's what I got out of it. It was,
if you're a traveler, right? Like, this is one tip. We haven't touched on it too much. We talk about traveling as a pastime, whatever. If you're someone that wants to travel, and you don't understand why, go and watch that podcast.
Yeah.
Because what he did I traveled a bit, and he opened my eyes fully to a whole nother reason.
Travel with purpose.
Yeah.
But he was very, he said, no, one of the purposes can be to go and travel and get away from shit. You don't need to do shit, but it was just so eye-opening. I can't wait to travel again with the mindset. I'll watch that back again before I go traveling again. I think so too. Watch it on the way over. I feel like we'll probably book our next holiday maybe together. The cultural stuff he talked about, like, and how you can bring that back in everyday life, and we all do it, but he like consciously has done it. Like
Orny done something that people talk about doing. Yeah. He done something that you see. I know my sister has done something very similar to him, and he resonated really a lot with her. And she's a big travel person, and what he managed to do with a holiday was become a dip. Well, I don't know how you'd say. Well, you wouldn't say better, but he didn't go over there fuck, it's hard to explain, man. That was big for me too.
Yeah. He went over there and purposely went to places he couldn't speak their language or learn little bits of. So, and when he come back here, he understood what he learned from that and is used in everyday life and business and everything. It's fucking phenomenal.
What about what he said, how he said when he meets, he knows so many different words out of different languages now. When he meets people, he'll purposely say that word to be able to sit culturally with them.
Yeah.
That was fucking cool to me. Like, I didn't learn, I know one word for it in Mexico.
What is it? I got a good Italian sentence I learned.
Ay, papi.
No.
Ay, papi.
Nah.
Don't post that. Do not put this on the podcast.
Il contro por favore. Can I get the check, please? Everyone was absolutely mind-boggled when I pulled that out one day, and they're like, "What does that mean?" I was like,
I watched that part back with Mia actually, and there's this thing on the Matty. I don't know how true it is, right? Matty Johns does this thing where should try and get that cunt on here.
Steve will get up.
I watched this thing where it was on Triple M, and it was a radio release where he does. Have you seen it?
No.
I'll show you after this. So it's fucking good. Goosebumps, right? Does this thing. He talks about. He goes to somewhere in France. Anyway, this particular town in France, the Aussies defended from the Germans.
Aussies.
Right? Yeah. And he said these two young Aussie dudes go into this servo, and they don't speak French, and they're trying to pay, and this dude's like yelling at him, and they're like, fuck, what have we done here? So they like put their cash away. We've got to give him a credit card, and he's like, he's fucking telling them, no, they can't understand. Someone walks in and he says, I speak a little bit of English. Australians don't pay here.
Yeah.
And since watching, I've listened to it, it gave me goosebumps, but since watching me, I'm like, I've got to go to that place. And I don't know what it is. It's like, I want to go there to experience that. And before that conversation with me, I don't think I understood the conversation, the context of what Matty was talking about.
Yeah.
Cool, bro.
All right. You want to finish up my summary?
Yeah. So pretty much we'll get you to go now in regards to a summary of what you've taken away from the 10 interviews and sort of put in your own words.
That's easy for me. Like my triangle, like I said, my triangle hasn't changed. It's executed. So we'll move on from that. I covered that before. But the big one for me is like I said, last time I talked about be the man you are who you are behind when no one's around. What's changed for me, my new favourite one now that I really want to live by is, I said it before, the suit doesn't make the man makes the suit. I come from my industry where everyone wears three pieces and, how good the first impressions count and how good you look. And my business, Three Kings, we went fully against that. Look like ASICs, G'd up, shirts, whatever, chinos. And I'll be completely honest, I've rocked it for about 12 months now. But I've always been really self-conscious that it wasn't the right thing. I've always been really self-conscious that it's not okay. And I even ask my clients on their information or pre-meeting information pack is what are you comfortable with me wearing? And we have the option. No one's ever answered suits. But what I got out of the last 10 weeks is we had people from all walks of life here, and not one person wore a suit, but we had Charles rock up in a singlet. We had Mir rock up in his gym clothes. We had we had it. Everyone wore something different. Everyone sort of rocked up there, and not a single person. I
don't remember what any of them wore.
100%. Not a single person.
Fuck, that just hit hard, bro. Because I remember Charles in it because I only remember what he was wearing because he's fucking 9 foot.
Yeah.
Because he's just this big fucking dude. I do not remember what anyone else wore here.
100%. And that's what I'm getting at. It's blown me away looking and going, every single one of those are some of the best people, whether in their industry or just as people in themselves that I've ever met. And not a single one do I remember what they wore, nor do I care, and nor do I think it had any impact from a first impression to anything on what they were.
Yeah, and I don't want to push away from that either, from what you're saying. Like, I feel like there's a time and a place for a suit, and 100%. There's a time and a place for shorts and a singlet. And you know what? You be who you are, be who you're going to be, but don't be it for someone else.
No, and I came from that industry where you see, like Harvey Specter, you see someone in a three-piece suit, you go, oh, they must be good. And I'm now going to change that. I am avidly going to change that, where fuck the three pieces. I'll be completely honest. the man I am right now, in my G'd up, my Cartel, my ASICs, 10 times the man I was wearing a 3-piece. 10 times the man.
Yeah, and in that time of wearing the 3-piece, don't you feel like a G? Like you just feel, but it's such a persona. It's such a. Don't get me wrong, there are successful people.
But I'll ask you. I'll ask you as a client, bro. Is it? How do you? I've always wondered this. I'll ask you now on the podcast.
I thought you were a fuckwit when I first met you.
Yeah, I know, but I was in a suit. But is there?
When we first met, I don't mean that at all. When I first met Ryan, I was a little bit unsure of.
I was in a fresh suit too.
Yeah, no, I do remember what you were wearing that day. I do. So I'll take that as you will. I do remember that, but only because I'm a bit of a I'm a big fan of suits, bro. But I.
So what I was trying to get at is being
someone to change me, bro.
Being a client, is there?
You're asking the wrong kind.
No. Listen, what I'm saying. Is there a thing that wearing what I wear? And then dropping I dropped some knowledge bombs on you, right? Is there that? How powerful is that? Because when someone's in a suit, you kind of think, well, this guy's going to be good at what he does, right? I almost want people to go, this guy can't be that good at what he does because he's not wearing a suit. And then when I drop what I drop, they go, holy fuck.
Yeah. I do think I'm the wrong cunt to ask. Because, I'll put it this way, right? I do remember the suit you're wearing because I believe that suit goes in a wardrobe for a very special occasion, and I felt very special.
It doesn't. That's my everyday suit.
But if you had different clothes on to me, it's not going to make a difference. And I say this because I laugh. I get picked on a little bit at HQ, Pino HQ, because I'm a G'd up dude, bro. Like I wear G'd up, and I wear my ASICs or my Nikes, and I'll wear a pair of fucking shorts in there, and like the boys are like, look at the get up, look at the Adelaide. Shit's doing. But I can get out of bed the very next day, and I can walk into that office, and I can be the exact same person in a pair of RMs, and a SMIG pair of pants, and a suit. I can do that. The boys go, fuck, look how professional you look, blah, blah, blah. But they know I'm the same person in the G'd up or in the suit. And gone are the days where you're not, bro. Gone to those days, like 10 years ago, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Not because anything's changed within me, but in society's times, like.
But I think what I'm getting is that's changed within myself, and that's now something I want to change in my community. So like people I interact with, I want to change that. I don't want if somebody I now thrive. But
if you all right, so let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
So if you go on to build Three Kings into a large business, right? You have people working for you full time. Do they wear suits?
No. Nope. That is our brand.
I mean,
nope.
Urban wise, if you're working from home, no, I love the brand. I love the fact that you do your shit in your G'd up. I love it. But if you move, because ideally,
nope.
No. So, but what I'm saying is, if you go into the city,
no.
All right. Fucking then you don't need my opinion, and you don't need that opinion because
no, and that's what I want to change. I want to change the preface that people. I can't wait to move to the city, wear what we wear, walking around, and people go and having a schmick office. People walk in it, and this is what we wear. Love it because I'll tell
you what it'll do. It'll bring a fuckload of attention because,
mate, my old boss used to wear a vest. Right, that's what he wore because he used to wear a vest because someone said to him one day, be the vest in a sea full of suits. And he went, fuck it, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, see, so that's your spin. You're like, fuck, be the man, be the man in the, whatever, fuck that.
The suit doesn't make the man makes the suit. And now, whether it's a Superman suit, a G'd up suit, or an actual suit, you make it.
Yeah. The thing is, too, is like when you start getting into the delves and the deeps, we sort of know the owner G'd up, right? Like I know him pretty well, and he is, mate. He's fucking doing like very good in life. Like he's a clever dude, and he's the pinnacle of urban streetwear. He could potentially be number one brand in Australia at the moment that's come out of Australia. Like you tell me another Australian-owned brand that's doing what he's doing at the moment, right? I've seen him in suits. And I've seen him in G'd up. And I'll tell you right now, the man makes the suit. Yeah. Because that cunt walks around head in the air.
And we talk money wise, right? Like a lot of people want to do that as a thing, right? And this is where I started. You wear suits for people, fake it till you make it, which is my most hated thing in the world. It's fucking disgusting. Don't ever fake it till you make it. Be genuine. But that whole persona, you make it look like you're doing that. I know people who wear suits that they can't afford. $1,000 suit they can't afford. I know people who wear thongs and singlets and a shirt that could afford 20 Bentleys. Like. That's what I want to change. We've got to move. We don't have to. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You want to wear a suit. But I want to move away my community.
But wear it because you want to wear it. Don't wear it because it's expected of you. Yeah, I think that's the point.
Wear what you want to wear. Don't take people based on that perception. Like, for me, it's cleanliness. Like, being hygiene and shit. If someone's a grub, that's
100%. You come in here stinking, get out. I don't give a fuck whether you're in a suit or G'd up, though.
But if you want to wear, don't take people's knowledge and their professions or who they are as a person based on what they're wearing,
It's a fucking mad point. It actually makes me laugh because you come to HQ with me one day, bro. I'll walk up there. It does not matter what I wear. These cunts are gonna hammer me, right? They think it's funny. They don't know the old actor. They don't know. Don't say nothing to me. Piss me off, you fucking little. We laugh. They're great blokes, but they will say something to me on the basis every day because I will be in a different get-up fucking daily.
Yeah.
Because I wear what I want to wear. I'll wake up in the morning. But if I get laughed at my office too. I'll come in, I've got a different pair of shoes on. Brett's going, you got a different pair of shoes for every outfit? No, he laughs at me. He goes, today you look like an American. I'll have like a vest on. And he's hammering me. But I'll blatantly wake up in the morning. I'll go, what do I want to wear today? Do I want to wear board shorts and a singlet? Or do I want to wear G'd up? Or do I want to be in a fucking wetsuit on my podcast? I don't give a fuck. And I think, I've always been like that, but I dare say implement into business. I mean, it's bold, but it's
powerful, bro, mate. It's empowering. It is. It's fucking empowering. Listen to what I have to say and follow my actions rather than look at what I'm wearing.
Yeah, 100%.
That's me, bro. That's me for 10 weeks.
Cool, bro. I like that. I think that was good. I don't know how much of this we're going to get out. We have a look, but I think to look back on it, if we do this again in 10 weeks, we look back at this. Who knows? Could have changed.
Who knows? And I would love to see. I want to see what other people watching. See how they go as well.